Welcome to Would I Lie to You at Christmas, a very special festive edition that sorts the facts from the fibs. On Lee Mack's team tonight, an award-winning actor of stage and screen, treading the boards for us tonight is Christopher Eccleston. And writer and star of Alma's Not Normal, the BAFTA-winning comedian Sophie Willan. And on David Mitchell's team tonight, from man like Mobeen, it's the king of Coventry himself, Guz Khan. And our very own fairy godmother, it's broadcasting legend, Gloria Hunniford. So, to round one, Home Truths, where our panellists read out a statement from the card in front of them. To make things harder, they've never seen the card before. They've no idea what they'll be faced with. It's up to the opposing team to sort the fact from the fiction. And Gloria, you're first up.
OK. Every year, my family run a sweepstake on what time I will fall asleep in my chair on Christmas Day.
Ah.
Lee's team.
OK. And, what was the winning time last Christmas?
9:15, maybe?
In the morning?
No, I'm up at 4 in the morning, but...
You're up at 4 in the morning?
Yes.
Why?
Santa Claus comes really early.
So why do you have to get up then?
I have to enjoy it all, don't I?
Is it at your house?
My house.
How many?
I would say altogether maybe 16.
16? Oh, do you have to cook?
Well, the thing is, we have a very big extended family now. And I wouldn't say I'm a great cook, but I just feed them lots of alcohol on Christmas Day.
Nice.
Very wise.
And that takes over from the cooking, really.
And whose idea was it to start doing a sweepstake?
I don't actually remember whose idea it was, because I was a bit tired by then and I'd had a few bevies myself.
Gloria, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How much do you drink?
How much I do? Well, my mum always had a little sherry, and in a way I was brought up on that. And I drop a whiskey now and again and hot water.
Are you here to do the show, or is this an intervention? So, how much is it to have a go on the sweepstake?
Oh, well, our family's a bit mean. It's only £5 at a time, max.
Well, £5's quite a lot for a sweepstake. Are they spiking your drinks to... Get the chloroform, I've got her, 20 cents. I didn't touch her. Give me the money. I did not touch her. Who's turned the gas on and not lit it? 16 people, sweepstake, £5 a go. What's the latest anyone's ever guessed?
9:15, you said, didn't you?
Yeah.
I said I have been known to.
That was last Christmas. It was 9:15.
But I'm quite a predictable person in that
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
So what about you, David? When do you get off at Christmas?
We're talking about an afternoon snooze in front of Shrek 2.
Hey, that's your wife you're talking about. So sorry. I'm so sorry, Victoria. I'm so sorry.
Chris, what are you thinking?
I was thinking a lie because at the 9:15, it was too quick for me.
You mean she answered you too quickly?
Yeah.
Sophie?
I think true. And it seems like a fun community spirit kind of game. Slightly mean.
Yeah.
But also a bit of fun, isn't it?
Before you make your decision, yeah?
Yeah?
You just got to bear in mind that this is G. Hunniford. She is a national treasure. Yeah. And I don't think the people of Britain are going to take to it kindly that you're out here calling her a liar. Just bear that in mind.
How sure are you?
He seems very confident. I will go... If you want to go with that.
I trust your instinct here.
Right, OK, thank you.
So it's all on you, mate.
We're going to say lie.
OK, they say it's a lie. Gloria, was it true or was it a lie?
It was a lie.
Good man.
9:15 detail.
Yes, it's a lie. Well, Guz, you're next.
When I was a teacher, I had one class that was so difficult, I played walk-on music to make my entrance more dramatic.
Lee's team.
You were a teacher.
Yes, I was. Yes, I was.
Wow. What kind of teacher were you?
A humanities teacher.
What music did you play?
So basically, the speaker system there in the classroom was connected to my phone. So you could play anything on it, and I decided that the theme from Rocky would be the one to go for.
That one.
That's the only theme from Rocky that you really want to play, that one.
All right, so the kids are all sat in class.
Yeah.
You're not in the class yet?
No, so I greet them at the door. Good teachers greet the kids at the door. How you
What do you
doing?
say at the door?
Yes, Leon, well gone for your mum. All them kind of things.
What?
Leon's mum was a very attractive woman, so every teacher was like, "Oh, is your mum coming to parents' evening, Leon?" So after I've greeted everybody and they're sat down, pens and pencils out, they get a bit chatty, and it was a notorious class, like I told you. So I played a Rocky theme tune. Dan, 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 dan. That's a bit of a Bollywood version, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you play it in there, and then I walk in the room, it's got everyone's attention.
Why don't you imagine you've got a really difficult, unruly class, particularly one child? You could recreate for us coming in and imposing yourself upon this dreadful child.
But it wouldn't just be Lee on his own, it's going to be Chris and Soph. They're all mucking about.
Well, yeah, but I think he's the worst.
OK, yeah, go on.
Oh, yeah. Good idea.
You feel the energy, the class is a nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm stressed out. Losing control of the class, and I decide, you know what, I need to hit them with the vibes, with the energies. Cue the music. Hands on it. Stop that clapping, Soap. Get your book out. Listen to me, lady. Yeah? Listen to me. You listen to me good, yeah? Unless you get your homework to me every single week on time, you best believe some terrible things are going to happen in the car park. You understand?
Double-check that everyone heard what he said to me then. He said if I didn't do my homework, something terrible was going to happen in the car park. Guz, that's a bit much.
That was something else, but was it based on fact? Did it happen? Chris?
I think it's true.
You think so?
I think true.
OK.
Because I think the confidence and it's well-rehearsed routine.
And I have to say, when he was behind me, touching me on the shoulders, he had
Terrifying.
authority about him.
Yeah.
He's a man that could whisper threats. I also happen to think now I know why he got sacked.
So you're saying it's true?
Yeah.
OK, they think it's true, Guz. Was it true, or was it, in fact, a lie?
It was a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Guz didn't walk into class to the theme from Rocky. Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. This week, each of Lee's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest. It's up to David's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guest, Frank. So, Sophie, what is Frank to you?
This is Frank. He kicked me out of school for arriving in a bikini.
Chris, how do you know Frank?
This is my mate Frank, and I brought him here tonight because he's desperate to meet Gloria Hunniford.
Then finally, Lee, what's your relationship with Frank?
This is Frank. I ruined his rendition of Silent Night when I blocked his tuba with my Satsuma.
So there we have it. David's team, where will you begin?
Sophie, describe the occasion when Frank kicked you out of school.
He was my headmaster.
Yeah.
And basically, I decided I wasn't going to go to school that day because I fancied something a bit different. And I didn't go in often.
Yeah.
I used to do sort of guest appearances, really. But on this occasion, I decided to go down right by school. There's a big field.
Where in the country are we, Sophie?
Bolton.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I like Bolton.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm not sure, but... Basically, we thought we'll just do something a bit nice and civilised.
Who's we?
My sort of friends that were not connected to the school, or how it was described in the expulsion letter. So we got ourselves some lovely beers, and we'd gone to the field, and we had our stereo, and everything was going lovely. And I was wearing a bikini because I will say it was a very hot day in Bolton. They only come once a decade. We all wanted to make the most of it. But the batteries died on the stereo. So I was like, do you know what? I'll just nip in and I'll go into the tech block and I'll get some batteries and I'll bob them in my stereo and it'll all be fine.
So theft is what we're talking about.
And what happened to you in terms of Frank, then?
So Frank was my headmaster, so well, Mr. Riley was the one who caught me. He blew his whistle and screamed at me across the hallway.
Was Mr. Riley a PE teacher?
No, he wasn't, but he had the personality of one. Yeah, so anyway, then I got the letter in the post. It said Sophie's arrived in school in non-uniform. Then it put in brackets a bikini on one occasion. Right. And I was excluded, and that was Frank. Frank was a lovely headmaster, though. Yeah. I don't want to dob him in completely. He was quite nice.
I know, I don't feel that you've dobbed him in by the fact that he took some disciplinary action over a pupil who'd arrived at school drunk in a bikini, hoping to steal some batteries. I think, in many ways, he'd be in more trouble educationally if you'd said, and he said that was fine.
Yeah, that's good. Probably, yeah.
What did your family say when they got the letter?
Well, they didn't get the letter.
Why not?
I got it. I'm not daft. I've had these letters before. I know that school logo. Right. Straight in.
There's a couple of plot points here that aren't adding up. Number one is how comfortable you are calling your former head teacher Frank. There's no way I could call him by their first name. I feel dirty, like a filthy person.
What is Frank's surname?
Mr. Vigan.
Biggin.
Vigan.
That's how my cousin from Bradford says Wigan. Vigan. Mr. Vigan. I don't believe it.
OK, Chris.
Just remind us how you know Frank.
I met Frank in 1992.
Right.
2 years into my career on Inspector Morse. He was the sound recordist.
And he was desperate to meet Gloria.
And Neil Diamond.
And how did the subject of meeting Gloria and Neil Diamond come up between you?
John Thaw had an allergy to fish.
Did I just have one of my blackouts again?
Yes.
So my start date on Inspector Morse was in the future, and I was knocking around West Hampstead where I lived, and I got a message saying I had to go into film 2 weeks early because John Thaw was off and they wanted to shoot my sequences, and I was terrified. It was my second only... I'd done Casualty, and I was doing Inspector Morse. I was terrified.
And you were brought in early because John Thaw was ill from having had fish.
He had fish, and his face had...
Ah, be a puffer fish.
His face had...
It happens if you
had blown up.
Yeah.
An allergic reaction. So I went in 2 weeks early. I was terrified, and the first thing that happened was Frank mic'd me up.
Right.
And I was trembling, and he was lovely about it. And at lunchtime...
I thought I'd gone again.
At lunchtime, I sat with him.
Yeah.
And we fell into what has become a surreal conversation about people who Frank would like to meet.
And among them were Neil Diamond and Gloria Hunniford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The difference is that Neil Diamond is in LA and I'm here. Frank has no access to Neil Diamond at the minute, but he could have access to me, couldn't he? Because I'm here.
Yes, that's absolutely true.
Well, you've heard it from her. He could have access to her. He could. She said it. So what is it about Gloria that Frank is particularly drawn to?
Her voice.
She's got a lovely voice, hasn't she?
Yeah.
And he's a sound recordist, so that would make sense that he appreciated.
Of course.
I was asking about the quality of sound, asking all the boring questions that actors ask, and he talked about vocal quality, and he talked about Gloria, and he talked about Neil Diamond.
Well, Frank, that was very nice. Thank you very much indeed.
How come he's here tonight?
Sorry?
How How... Not you, sorry. Oh. Oh, my God. Oh.
He got you.
Is serial killer one of the options?
I think there was something headmasterly about that.
That was chilling.
Like visiting Hannibal Lecter behind the screen, wasn't it?
How come he's here tonight? How has that come about?
Gloria did a show called The Masked Singer a while ago with a white head on or something.
Yes.
I was Snow Leopard, just for the record.
Thank you. And he texted me the instant and said it's Gloria Hunniford.
Wow.
There you go, see?
And within a week of that, I was asked to come on this show because David Tennant turned it down.
Right, David, Lee Mack. Now, what about him?
So, a tuba and a satsuma. Talk us through it, Lee.
This is Frank. I ruined his rendition of Silent Night when I blocked his tuba with my satsuma. I'm not sure there's any other information you need.
Well, first question, do you mean a literal satsuma, or is that sort of some kind of disgusting innuendo?
And just to be clear, do you believe the satsuma is an innuendo or the tuba is an innuendo?
At that point, I was imagining that the satsuma was a body part of yours, but the tuba was literally true. I'm now imagining that the tuba is a body part of Frank's, and the satsuma is literally true. Obviously, it could be a straightforward physical interaction between the two of you, in which case I give you joy of it.
When was this?
About a week before last Christmas.
Yeah. Right, OK.
And was Frank playing with the Salvation Army or something?
He was, actually.
Was he?
Yes, thanks. I'll use that.
Where was he playing?
Where was he playing? Gloria. No, he was playing down the high street where I live, and rumour got out.
Rumour got out. Is that their marketing strategy?
And it's a nice festive thing. You stand round and it's nice, isn't it? Salvation Army. What don't you like about the Salvation Army, David? If it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be wearing those clothes.
Just remember, you decide to go.
I went, to watch.
On your own?
No, with my wife and children.
OK. And
You believe I've got a wife and children, don't you?
I've met people you claim are them.
Yes,
so...
well, they were people I hired in because I didn't want you around my real family.
And you all went down the high street.
Yes.
And what happened then?
Well, then we were enjoying the music and we were swaying along gently. And that's when one of my kids shouted the now well-known phrase in our area, "Dad, have you got a satsuma?"
One of your children asks for a satsuma.
Yes.
What happens?
Well, he's over yonder there.
But aren't there lots of people standing listening to the music?
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, it started off...
So you could still hear one of your children ask for a satsuma from quite a long way away.
No.
During a concert,
No.
lots of people standing in between.
Through the music, I could tell what he meant, because he went...
And what was the effect on the music of the satsuma going in the tuba?
It just got a little bit more citrusy. That's the way I describe it.
I want to know what your wife said at this disgusting, childish behaviour.
She said, I'm sick of your attitude and I'm thinking of leaving you. And that was before I'd even thrown it.
All right, we need an answer. So, David's team. Is Frank Sophie's tough teacher, Chris's fanatical friend, or Lee's muted musician?
I'm very confused because when some of you were cussing out Frank for no good reason, Sophie bit her bottom lip like it would have been her head teacher. Yeah, she was like, oh, don't be horrible to him. And then when I think about Brother Eccleston, he said something which is a really specific memory, which is I was very nervous on my first day acting, and Frank calmed me down. And I would remember that. Also, Frank's got that satsuma somewhere he shouldn't have.
That's why he can't smile.
OK, so you think it could be any of them. Oddly, my starting point is it can't be any of them.
At the beginning, I did not think it could be Sophie. at all.
And then you heard the other stories.
And then I heard the others. Exactly.
I'm going to rule out Lee. There, I've done my bit. Now you two decide.
Yeah. Maybe we'll go with Chris then.
Oh,
OK.
I think so.
You think Soph? You think Chris?
Let's go with Chris, yeah.
You think... I think we'll go with Chris.
You're going to say it's Chris? OK,
Yeah.
so, Frank, would you please reveal your true identity?
I'm Frank, and I kicked Sophie out of school for turning up in a bikini.
Yes, Frank is Sophie's tough teacher. Thank you very much, Frank. Which brings us to our final round, quickfire lies. We start with Chris.
Thank you. I have finally given up cheering because every time I did it, people always said I sounded sarcastic.
David's team.
So, in what context would you cheer previously?
At football games,
Yeah.
Who do you support, Chris?
I support Manchester United.
Well, you probably were cheering sarcastically.
It must sound really sarcastic to punch through as sarcastic in the context of lots of other people cheering, particularly in a stadium. There's sort of 40,000 people cheering, and then everyone turns around and says, he's being sarcastic.
To me, it isn't sarcastic. I've been told, not by 40,000 people, I've been told by one particular individual.
Oh, was it QPR, was it?
So, let's imagine you're watching Manchester United and Georgie Best is... Sorry, let's bring it right up to date. Paul Scholes is streaking. He scores a goal, and you go...
Hooray!
That cheer definitely might not be 100% sincere sounding.
What would a sincere cheer sound like?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I...
Yay, yay, yes, yes! Come on, boys, come on!
Yes, yes, come on, boys, come on.
Well, better than his.
Now, David, you're at Millwall. You're with your mates. It's 1-1 till the 89th minute, and then your boys score a goal.
Yeah.
It means everything, and you go...
Hey, good one.
Thank you. What I try to infuse that with is a little bit of rage.
Yeah.
well,
Because I think that's the thing that underlying a lot of football supporting is the rage that this thing that they're into doesn't matter at all.
the rage is the issue. I was with my children.
Yeah.
And I was surrounded by that primal scream kind of reaction. And I muted it, and a guy turned round and said, "You're not really a red, what are you doing in this end? Call that a cheer." And my kids heard it. Oh. And I said, "I'm doing it because I don't want them to see me going, yes! Come on!"
Now, that's a lot better.
The power. Wow.
You see, Rob, you're wrong when you rang me. He is a good actor.
What did you say to the guy who said you were sarcastic?
I tried to reason with him, and then he said, "Oh, Doctor Who off the telly. Who do you think you are?"
You've been doing both shows.
Yeah.
All right. Guz, what do you make of this?
I do believe that that was a very sarcastic cheer, and somebody might have thought it's a bit weird. But you're a big lad.
Yep.
And I wouldn't mess with you like that if I didn't know you. So I think lie.
Yeah. What do you
Yeah, I think it's a lie.
OK, well, my team thinks it's a lie.
OK, you're saying it's a lie. Chris, was it true or was it a lie?
It was a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Chris hasn't given up cheering because he sounds sarcastic. Next. Sophie.
All right. I once had a fight whilst dressed as a Christmas elf.
David's team.
All right.
Where were you playing this elf?
I worked in the grottos in
regularly?
Manchester, Wigan and Bolton. I did it for several years. But the problem is, every Santa that you have, they've all got their own issues. They're very narcissistic individuals. And if you're stuck on a shift with a Santa who's a bit of a plonker, it's a long day. and this particular day, he kept saying things like, I'm not just a Santa Claus, I'm a family therapist. You know, stuff like that. But, you know, so it was a stressful shift, and he was really irritating. So I'd gone out for a cigarette, and I got in trouble for having a cigarette in my uniform, which annoyed me.
Well, paint a picture for us of this elf uniform.
Well, it's an elf hat and, you know, an elf suit, really. That's just...
That's not really painting a bit. I could have said elf hat and elf suit.
All right, well, half of it was red and half of it was green. It's the usual...
All right, have it your way.
How many fags did you smoke?
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, you smoke in the day, but you never get enough breaks. And even when I quit smoking for a bit, I'd always go, I'm going out for a ciggy, because you're only allowed a fag break. You're not allowed a break.
Yeah.
What if you just want to stand outside and live a bit longer? That's not allowed. So I kept the uniform on, went for a cigarette, got in loads of trouble. And then another elf was like, oh, we've got to get out of here. Let's get to the pub. We needed this, me and this girl. I was a small elf, you know, 5'3". I looked like an easy target. I got quite a bit of abuse. Christmas elf! And after a bit, it got quite irritating. Anyway, I ended up getting into a rough and tumble with this one woman, and it got very... We're on the floor rolling around.
What was she dressed as?
She was just herself. She was being...
Well, you can't know that. She could have been a real elf disguised as a normal person. In which case she'd be furious with you. Look how you destroy our reputation. I've been working all year on children's presents. I have one night off. And there you are, smoking and drinking and besmirching the name of elf.
OK, so you're on the floor, you're fighting.
Yeah.
What happens?
Well, I'm hair-sensitive.
You're what, sorry?
So that's hair-sensitive.
You're hair-sensitive. What does that mean?
It's a very soft German person.
Oh, that's good. That's very good.
Little cracker joke for you there for Christmas.
So I'm quite sensitive on the head, so she got a good grip on the hair. That was it. I was done. That was it.
Gloria, what do you make of this?
I think it's a big fat lie. I don't think she's that kind of girl, really. She's a different kind of girl.
Yeah.
I don't think she's that kind of girl.
I, on the other hand, I think she's that kind of girl.
Yeah. Are you thinking true? I'm feeling true.
I must say I'm feeling true because of all of the facts. There's a lot of detail. Will you join in?
I'll join in, OK.
We'll go true.
Right, you're going true.
We're going to go true, yeah.
So, Sophie, was it true or was it a lie?
It was true.
Yes, it's true. Sophie once had a fight dressed as a Christmas elf. That noise signal's time is up. It's the end of the